Okay. Welcome all to the March 15th meeting of the Board of Water Sewer Commissioners for the town of Dudley. Start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Incorrect. Okay. Acceptance of minutes for the March 1st meeting. Have we had a chance to read the minutes?
Make a motion to accept the March 1st meeting minutes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, the rate increase, for which our large audience is sitting here to hear. It was our hope that we would have more information, mostly, basically indirects to know about that amount, but the day after on March 2nd, public records request was placed. The 10-day limit is the 10-day limit on time is tomorrow, so we haven't received anything as of yet.
Quick question, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
I know we asked for indirects, but also with the payroll tax, the withholding tax, the insurance, all that stuff is critical to our budget, and have we received those up to date? All that math?
None of those numbers are plugged in yet.
Yeah,
All we
need
can do
those.
is
Yeah,
plug in last year's numbers and
what goes
Yes.
into retirement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you know?
what about revenues?
Nothing,
Nothing, so we're still back at
yes.
October is the last month that we've,
October of last year.
so we're up to 5 months
Mhm.
with no revenue reports, so we have no idea what's coming in. Okay. So,
Thank you.
I know we have that, we had the recommendation of our primary operator who put the budget together of a 20% increase. I'll tell you, I still haven't discussed that with the person who pays the bills in my house.
You don't want to?
No, I don't want to. But it is what it is. These, the primary increases, for the record, are in the costs for the PFAS remediation programs and the rehab of Station 1 and the tanks and
Mason
the
Road.
Mason Road project.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where all that rate increase is going to pay debt that has been incurred or will be incurred shortly for the treatment plant. So, anybody have any comments or a motion?
Chairman, I don't think we have a choice.
Stark reality, Mr. Chairman. 100-year-old system. You're trying to do upgrades, and some of it's enforced on us by the state and federal government. And we all know there are fine structures if we don't comply with what we're told to do, and the fine structures would make the job look, minute in comparison.
So, and for those who have suggested, well, why don't we just not? The state would, correct me if I'm wrong, but the state would tell us we can't pump. And they could force us to run a line to an adjacent water system,
It would start off by forcing you to provide bottled water.
provide bottled water, which would be a great
That
expense.
would far exceed what we have to do, and we also, we still have to do what we have to do, so it's just an added expense to try to send a message.
And the only,
Listen to your message.
the only contiguous water system we can get water from is our neighbors to the east, Webster. And, I'm not, with the problems they're having over there. I don't know how they're doing. I haven't heard anything in a while, so folks aren't complaining, so.
I still have an issue voting rates in without having information, budgetary information.
What is,
Trying to make decisions at your house and put a roof on your house if you don't keep a checkbook and have no idea what you have in the bank and what your salary's gonna be or anything.
when do we have to have this decision made by in order to get everything in line,
It has to go out with the May 1st billing,
or earlier?
yeah, depending on what you're looking.
Because I think we voted on it in April last year.
We did.
But I still have an issue with that, and we haven't got information on the indirect costs. I believe that proposal was even higher than the previous.
Mhm.
So if the number's gonna go up, we need to figure that in. If it's gonna go down, we need to factor that in. So there's just a lot of unknowns. Like I said, I have a hard time voting in an increase to our ratepayers with the amount we've already increased based on, the past few years and all the things that we've had to do without having the proper information.
Yeah, without the proper information, it's a wild shot.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
you're throwing darts at a dartboard to big rates. I don't think that's right.
Okay, so,
But we can't just sit back and wait and wait and wait and not do anything.
That's why I asked
Caught it
the-
behind the 8 ball.
we need to get the decision, and so it has to go up with the May billing in order to get all of that done. When's our meeting in April?
April 5th, I think it is.
April 5th?
Well, you made a request for information.
Tomorrow is day 10. Yeah, April 5th. I mean, we can hold off until then, but,
What's the alternative if we don't hear about anything?
what's the law with public records request? If they don't meet the 10-day request?
Yeah, file.
Well, we have a former retired town clerk sitting here.
I'm just saying with a public records request, they have 10 days to respond. They could respond on the 10th day and say, due to whatever unforeseen things in my office, we don't have the manpower, we don't have this, and we'll get it to you in this amount of time.
Yeah. They just have to respond within
They
10
just have to
days.
respond, they don't have to provide you with information necessarily.
Really?
There is a time frame on how much time after that. they
After
have,
that,
right.
but I'm saying that doesn't mean they're gonna,
Yeah, it could be 60 days.
And that's,
But I would think that based on the indirect costs that we pay, and I think that salary was, 80% funded by this department, I think
Mhm.
we should kind of have some say in, well, whether we want it to be a priority.
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
just as food for thought, gotta make sure also that we start looking at the fire protection aspect of things. It's been sitting like that for years, and has to be
Well, that's what I said.
upgraded.
That's ridiculous how much they're crediting you for the fire protection.
I'm saying right now, but I'm saying let's get everything worked out.
Oh,
Keep that in the back. of your
There are multiple flags, at least for me, on the indirect calculations, and been trying to deal with it, and it just keeps getting, pushed aside.
Shut down.
So, all right, so, God, I hate
Excuse me,
this.
Mr. Chairman, can I
Yes.
just ask, why does the cost of, I know the other projects, just the treatment plant, and what percentage of your proposed budget would that cover in order to pay that, or to build it?
The proposed increases have, some of that increase now is to reduce the increase, because we won't actually start paying for the treatment plant until after it's built. That's the way it's through the state. The state fronts the money, and then we start paying it back after it's complete, which will be it'll be complete this year.
Okay.
So probably, it'll be in the 2025 budget that we'll actually see the first number. But if we wait until then to increase, that increase is going to be astronomical. It's not going to be 20%, it's going to be 35 or 40%.
In other words, you have to have the money there for that payment.
So what we're doing now is increase a little bit now, that will be retained, and then it'll be used to soften the blow later on down the road.
Do we know what the total cost of this project is?
It went out at 11.3, I believe. The knock on wood, every one of our, the previous three have all come in under budget. So, we're hoping some of that will come down, and out of that 11.3, a portion of that is forgiven by the state at the end as well.
We don't know what that percentage.
We're not sure what that is. It could be 20%, it could be 40%. And who knows, it could even be higher.
I think the minimum was like 12.9 or 13%, somewhere around there is what they had anticipated, so.
So, a lot of that is still fluid, but we're just trying to anticipate. That's the rate study that was done by Ty and Bond with annual increases that's set up that way, and in the charts, it shows how our retained earnings will grow for a little while, and then it'll drop, because then we'll spend it. We'll spend it to help offset the cost.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
At the last meeting, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you were talking about homes getting new meters.
Right.
Am I correct, like maybe you've done a third of them approximately, or 10% or whatever?
more than
Well, a little more than that.
A little more than that?
Yeah.
And I do know that the guys have been out repairing unforeseen breaks and whatnot. Is there a plan in place for any overtime or hiring somebody temporarily to just get the new meters out there so that we can get some more?
We put out a number of, probably about 80 tags to houses now in this round of the meter reading this quarter. And we've already come across almost every one of them needs some kind of attention for meter reading. The meters are not working right or whatever, so every.
Say 80 tags, I'm sorry.
80 houses.
80 houses.
We tag. We get help from the sewer department doing that, so we're combined together, making efforts to make sure that takes priority unless we have another emergency. But it's paying off. It's paying off every quarter as we get everything repaired. We see it, that we're making good progress.
How many households are left, do you think? I won't hold you to an exact number.
It's hard to say. I can't tell you off the top of my head. Like I said, we're moving into that half range and trying to get everything squared away. Because now you're going to get it so many years, then you have to go back again and address meters that you had started off
Just the
with.
first.
Yeah, we're trying to play catch up with what was way back and move ourselves.
So we, 50%?
Getting close to it.
And one of the hardest things is that people don't respond to
Oh, of course they don't.
your tax.
Might not be a bad idea to have that number.
Oh, I got it.
How many, how many we've changed and
Oh,
how
yeah.
many we have left?
I'll work on that.
Just so we have the
Yep.
information and we can.
I don't even know how many users there are in town as far as water meters.
23 something, 2,300.
It's over that now. and
Yeah.
it's
24,
close-
it's around 24, 25.
Yeah.
2,400 users,
Households.
households.
That's the thing, it takes so long to do a meter change out there, and the DEP guidelines say it should be done every 10 years.
Whoops.
So it takes that long to change them, you know, unless we opted to go with an outside company that would just handle scheduling and going in and changing them all, but that comes at an
I'm
expense
sure you
as well.
discussed
I've noticed that my meter reading, the number, the cubic feet, or whatever the number is, 800 has gone up. My water usage has gone up, and I know the two of us haven't used more water. So our meter, our older meter, the meter that was replaced was probably faulty to some extent. You know, there's no way to know for sure, but mine went up a little bit when the meter got changed out. But I'm paying for what I use.
Yeah, but I just, there is a plan in place to make that one of your priorities.
Oh, yeah.
Barring, unforeseen.
And the thought was to, once we get to a certain point, we'll be able to contract out, possibly contract out, and just have somebody come in and just, wipe right through the town and do it.
What's a big cost factor,
That's
too?
that's
Meters are
expensive.
expensive,
It's expensive,
you know, it's,
so
what's a meter charge?
Oh, God, right now,
it's a metal thing.
Yeah, it's-
expense
it's-
water.
They're
With the
expensive now.
readout, it's very,
they used to be rivaling $100 a piece on an average 5/8 meter. Now they're getting up to the $200 range.
Oh, no,
And
they're
getting the
more-
radios with, the meters with the radios?
Yes,
Yes.
they're more than
They're
that.
probably around 300.
yeah, so, that's a big piece of change.
Mr. Chairman, what are we gonna do about
The budget,
the rate increase?
the rate increase,
Do we hold off and hope that we get information? Not that we,
I mean, we're gonna have to make a decision one way, or if we push it to April, we're gonna have to make a decision one way or another, even if we don't have the information.
honestly, I don't see us getting the information by April.
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
So, just I'll make some phone calls. See what I can do to beat the bushes. Okay. So we'll
Table it?
table it until the April meeting.
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
It's public record, this
Mhm.
information you want.
Hmm?
Is it possible that one of you just makes an appointment and just goes down and says, I want to see these and get your information instead of.
We've asked. I've been in the office a couple of times, asking about it. It's-
Well, it's based on his workload, whether he has time to get it, I guess. I don't know.
Being tabled, motion.
That's, table it until, we don't need to put that in the form of a motion, do we? Jen?
So, but on that, Mr. Chairman, we're gonna send out,
Yes, please. I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
no,
Yes,
do
please.
you want a motion?
Yes, please.
Make a motion to table the rate increase until the April
April 5th meeting.
5th meeting, hoping we get some information back on the budget items.
Okay, there are quite a few that we can't.
Is there a date that Tim Conlon or whoever has to have the budgets finalized by? So I would assume that they have to provide a number for the indirects to balance budgets and everything else.
So
I know it came up at last Monday's meeting.
the accountant came to us asking if we had information on the indirects because she did not have any. And Brian stated to use last year's because we did not have any at this time,
Who said that?
I think we voted
Right.
temporarily.
to put it at 0 until.
We
get-
did, but she said it has to be put in for something for, and he continued to go, And she said, well, I'm gonna put it in for last year's because I have to put in something.
You have to put a number in.
And that's where it was left, and he said, we're working on trying to get to the bottom of this.
Well, like I said, I would still put it in at 0, or put it in at $1, she said she needs a number.
So her,
Still say the
I know.
number can be 0, but.
So I do know that for the planning purposes of the meeting, that it was put in at last year's. But it was brought up that it was not confirmed. And that,
And that question, the question did come up, Jen was at the meeting. The question did come up about, they did comment a couple times about the indirects. And then I got up and commented and got a little pushback from treasurer collector, but he said the numbers are pretty cut and dried, and they've been that way for years. We have
No, we
questions-
can't see them, Mr. Chairman.
we have questions about them, and that's
Is
that's the
there a
bottom line.
possibility us to change that number down
Yeah.
from last
they're,
year?
they're aware of it. They're aware of it, but for the purposes of the override, they needed to have a number. What possibly the water sewer department would be contributing to the town. So they could work on their budget for the override. What they needed or what they needed to cut, whatever.
Okay, so a motion's been made to table the
Second.
rate increase vote until April 5th.
So how do we go about, Jen, how do we go about, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
how do we go about changing that number, say to half?
I have no qualms about paying what we owe. I mean, that's the way an enterprise works. But I just have serious questions about a couple of the numbers there. One being the treasurer salary and the collector's salary being separate and charged off to us separately when it's one position. That's been going on for years.
Right, they're charging us for 2 positions, and it's one person that does both those
Yep.
positions.
And then the fire protection number hasn't been adjusted in-
No.
since
They
this
adjust
whole
it, but
thing
it
put
goes
up.
up a minute amount, it's not even, I don't even know how
Yeah,
to justify that.
and
One-
there are-
one
there-
water
That was
main break
done,
costs
that was
off.
done
The-
25 years ago and not done correctly. I remember that.
just one fire in town caused enough damage to cover, to eat all of that plus some.
So I'd be willing to say, keep the 15,000 and we bag all the hydrants, and they're not used except for distribution maintenance. I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah, I'd have a hard time with that. Just
For what reason?
fire protection for our residents.
So what about all the people that live in the areas that don't have fire, that are outside the water district? Putting everybody on the same page. And we know the water comes from the fire, or from the water district when we fight a fire outside the district.
Right.
We found that out,
Yes,
so.
oh, yeah. It's,
Even the plane.
I think it just stinks that it's so adversarial here.
I agree.
This department and the rest of town
It can
just
be a
seems to
lawsuit.
be, it just seems to be a constant battle. Everything we try to do is a battle. Just I don't know. Okay, so motion's been made and seconded to table the rate increase vote to April 5th.
You didn't vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And
You need
Mr.
to-
Yeah, sorry about that.
Mr. Chairman,
Fortunately, you didn't have how far to travel.
Mr. Chairman, on that,
Sometimes they don't let you out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
on that, are we gonna send out a notice if we do? That
That's,
Beforehand?
A notice of the increase.
yeah,
Yes.
yes.
With the bill, hopefully, right, the May bill.
Either with the bill or with everything that's going on, I think it's important that folks have all the information they need to make,
If we just snuck a
Some
rate
hard
increase
decisions.
in without them telling us to crucify us.
right,
We've been down that road before.
Oh, no.
The base has to be informed.
no, yeah, that's, so budget review, budget revenue
Mr.
review.
Chairman, I still had another question on that.
Sure, go ahead.
On that, how would we notify them?
By mail.
First class?
Bulk rate. We qualify for bulk rate with our mailing. Bulk rate is anything over, is it 900? You must know that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
do you look at every piece of junk mail at your house?
No, but when an envelope comes in, it won't look like junk mail. It'll be in a.
It'll have junk mail.
Stamped
stamp.
envelope.
It'll be in a stamped
Dudley
envelope.
Water
And I
Sewer
say junk
Department
mail, but
letterhead.
it's
Yeah.
third class.
Yeah.
But do you look at all your third class mail, or do you just
Oh,
check
yeah.
it?
Oh, yeah.
I can,
I just did it.
okay.
I just
You're
did.
in
I
the
look
mi-
at every-
you're in the minority, because I can tell you that I'd say 80% of households I see do not.
Well, in that case, that's on them. We've made the effort to notify.
Yeah, but how far do we want to go with the effort? We
Yeah.
could put it on the sign outside and say, we made the effort, Mr. Chairman.
First class mail has been, the mail system, yeah.
So as soon as a decision is made on the rate increases, I put them on the website. I will send them to Amanda, who will put them on Facebook, the cable access, every possible media outlet we have. So there will be, not only will it go via mail, but it will go everywhere else as well. They're very good about splashing stuff all over town.
I just think it's important that.
Oh,
Oh, that's why I make sure that I get it.
Third-class mail is not a priority in most households, so.
I just went through my mail just before I came here and, okay, catalog, some stuff. One thing said something about tax.
One.
The tax rate increases in the Dudley area, right across the front of the envelope. Oh, that's interesting. I opened it up, it was the Heritage Foundation, talking about federal taxes. So, yeah, I look at every envelope. Some of the catalogs and newspapers and stuff get tossed right away,
I'm
but.
sorry?
I agree, he's probably in the minority.
Yes.
But, I mean, if it comes into your door, it's up to you. If you don't do your due diligence, there's only so much we can do without getting to spoon feeding.
Yeah.
You know, hand delivering to
This is-
every household.
I think we make a lot of efforts outside there.
Right.
I know you got a lot on your plate, but could you get us a figure what it costs both ways?
Yeah, we figured it out for regular, and it was, oh God,
Regular was like $1,300 for regular first-class mail. 55 cents, I think I
it was
used.
more than that,
And
because
but I
it's
think
like
it's gone up.
2,500 households.
Right.
We figured it at 55 cents. So, is
That's,
that how much a stamp is? I don't even know.
it's 59 cents, it just went up.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more, so it's, yeah, but at bulk rate is still 19 cents. 19 cents, that comes to about a little under $500.
Yeah, it was 1,500. If you did it, I rounded it 60 cents, 2,500. That's 60 cents.
So that's, yeah,
Plus, you're gonna pay if you're gonna have Karen do it.
yes, if we have
You have to pay
them
for them.
print the thing up and stuff the envelopes.
Yep.
That's another $300, $200, $300. I know that's what it costs for a billing cycle. It may be a little less.
Bills will do meter readings May 1st, and I'm hoping to have them ready within 2 weeks to go out.
It's mid-May?
At latest.
Yeah, okay.
You're gonna do a separate mailing for this? And then,
Yeah,
and then one in the bill?
I'll definitely do another one in the bill.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, I'm happy with that.
Oh, yeah. So everything,
Oh,
no.
yeah, it'll be, and we'll even have something out on the front sign
Front board.
to say, please see website or whatever, water sewer rate increases effective. Just
Okay.
something that catches their eye, not a lot of information.
Okay.
They'll come up with something catchy, so.
Oh, I'm sure they will. So, budget revenue review, we don't have
Sorry.
anything. So, Okay. Indirect costs, town treasurer collector. We don't have anything for that one either. Boy, we're flying now. Not in a good way, but,
It's not like we're not trying to get the information, Mr. Chairman.
well, yeah. Sanitary sewer overflow information, is there, yeah, you guys just had a meeting.
You had a meeting, I sort of had to jump to another one as I was going in and out of that one, but, yeah. So, back a couple of years ago, we had a major SSO violation with the manholes
Right.
bubbling up. Went through our I&I program, which helped out immensely. The problem was, though, that it's still in the cards that there is issues with the main running down Progress Ave down to Fairview. It's irregular sizes, taking sudden 45-degree angles as it goes, and then issues coming down Fairview Ave down towards Chase Ave area, where it ends up
Looks like it
taking
does
another turn.
It does a double 90.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and goes down Chase. So
Yeah, I saw the old prints.
Louis was also talking about issues with Brandon Road, possibly, but I didn't get to catch all that because I had to go check another meeting. But in short, that Ty and Bond was there, two representatives were there from Ty and Bond, writing all the information down. Going to go and evaluate all this because I still am under the gun with DEP to do a study on this and have a report on what our findings are and then what maybe down the line we're going to have to do to correct the problem. The unfortunate part is that we still had a smaller violation back in that rainstorm where the manholes were just up a little bit. One was particular just, so we made progress, but we didn't cure the problem completely. And right now, everybody, including Mr. Grimm, believes that area is very much backing up on heavy rain and causing a lot of our issues there.
It looks like there's a,
Haven't we done, sorry, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
haven't we done a study to all the size of those pipes over there?
No, we were still in the middle of I&I, and the DEP agreed that I would be able to hold off till more information came in as how this project ended up, if it did any good for us or whatever. And then we later on look into this, because we really had so much going on. We didn't want to start backing ourselves up financially and with information not really available to us. So we did that, we found out some information, we moved forward with that. Now that the engineers have it, they're going to start looking into this hydraulically, what we can do and what we may have to do to correct it. We need to straighten the pipe more out and keep it more regular, a certain size. Something goes 16, goes to 10, it's a mess going down the line. So this is going to take a little while, but at least they know that we're moving forward on a study and getting information and working with the engineers to come up with a plan with that. So I think that was a good thing, and then Mr. Grimm helped us a lot with information, so they have a good way of going.
looked like the one main came and the other one came and they were off by a little bit and there's a double 90 in there. So, I mean, that would be, if that, according to that, if that's an as-built print, and that's the way the pipe is in the ground, I mean, the first place to go, it seems, would be to that location and straighten that whole thing out and get rid of that double 90.
Back up and look at the manholes and
Make it straight.
That's one area, and the other area is up at Progress where it meets Fairview, in
Right.
uncharted bad territory there. So,
Oh, going through the woods.
Do you have a time frame when that main was put in? 30s, 40s?
had to be around the 40s.
I'm just questioning if it was hand dug at that particular time.
Some of it, I
The
think,
old
was
story.
done.
It's going this way now. There's a rock on his ledge. Same with, that's your same issue down at Sunnyside. I believe in some of the old town books I've read, going back to the 30s, those lines were put in, and those were probably WPA hand dug.
We hit lead.
Like you say, hit it? Uh-oh.
They hit lead, like when we
Yeah.
did the main break on Ramsden Road, same thing, there's a lead, we happen to hit it right at the ledge area. So there's only this much room to work with to the bottom where you can get your couplings in there and stuff, because they just bored enough to put the pipe
Yep,
down.
yep.
And they never bedded it down.
Hand,
properly.
I gotta believe a lot of that was hand labor, especially WPA at the time.
So how did your SSO notification plan work?
It worked out good. We did everything step by step as we were instructed, filled out the proper paperwork,
And then all the requirements?
met all the requirements, so yeah. It's mostly on the administrative side, so she gets the information, she submits it, does a great job. And we give her the details. Mike is right up there too, to make sure that everything's on squared away,
So
so.
it's crazy, the new requirements.
I know. I'm glad we caught it right away, because they don't really announce it greatly, you know, it's always, you gotta go dig after it to find these things. So yeah, so it's making progress, so we're on the right track with that.
Webster True-Up. Okay, are we good with that? So we're in good stead at this point
We're
with.
doing good things right
with
now, we got the
DEP.
information we need, and then next thing we'll.
And we're
the
moving,
engineers
and
will move
we're
forward.
moving forward.
Yep.
Okay. Can't ask for much more there, I guess. Webster True-Up. We still need to have that meeting with Webster.
We have a proposed date for that.
You guys were supposed to come back with dates that would work for you guys.
Well, in their request is not to have a date until we agree
Oh.
to settle it that night, so if they're willing to agree to whatever we say, then I say we can settle it. I mean, if they're not
It
gonna
just-
give- if they're not gonna give us information,
That might
we
work
have-
if you say it fast.
I think the important thing, and their biggest beef, and I can understand it. We went over there and there were only two of us. So we didn't have a board, we couldn't have a meeting, nothing really could be accomplished other than sharing information. So we just have to come up with a date, so, what is feasible for us, that where we know that at least three of us can be there. It'd be best if all five of us could be there, but whatever works. I'm assuming it will only be four of us, but, I know they like Thursday nights. And we've got to talk to our consultant as well, to make sure he can be there as well. And that he has a problem with one Thursday each month. I think it was the third.
Can't do it the last one.
Let's see, the last Webster meeting was,
We can't do it the last Thursday in April. Mr. Chairman?
Webster, I have a Dudley, okay, that was the 26th,
Last one, 26.
right, 26th of January. So I know that third Thursday's tough for me, but. if-
Can't do that last one in April because that's your birthday.
I don't give a shit. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you can edit that out. You're gonna work your magic. At this point, I'm just happy I have them. Whatever. Thanks for pointing that out there, by the way. But, yeah, so it's now the 15th of March. Check, maybe, does the 30th of March sound?
For me? I thought you were looking in April.
Well, I mean, we put a couple of them there. I know they like Thursdays. We need to talk to, I can't remember which, I want to say it was the second. That there's one Thursday that's not good for our consultant, because his board meets that day. And then in April,
I think we get that information from him and then plan around that.
okay. Okay, I'll give him, let's see. You don't need this copy of the agenda back, right?
Nope.
Call treasurer, collector.
How do you look for?
Thursdays are good for me. There's nothing going on Thursday nights.
Call,
How about you, King Sabi?
I have no idea. I have meetings so often, it's not fun. It's-
oh, yeah, the
I just gotta
schedule,
work around it.
my month just, that's March. I mean, there's something just about every night. Then,
It seems like we all possibility of making any Thursday, so I think we go with our consultant.
Yeah.
A couple of days, he can definitely make it and send that over to Webster.
okay. So we can be, and we'll make sure we have everything we need to hopefully come to a decision. If we don't, then we don't, but I'd like to put this to bed. Okay, public comments. No, she doesn't have anything. Any board comments?
I don't know if you've seen that email I sent earlier.
Yeah, I just saw it.
I did see it.
AWWA thing, I think it'd be a bad idea to send some, I know there's a little expense there, but just to get a full understanding of anticipated cost and replacing mains and stuff.
Did you see it?
Not yet, I've been tied up in office meetings with
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's so much things coming down the pike now.
It's just to identify and see, like, how to determine age of pipe and when it should be replaced.
When is it?
March 21st to the 23rd,
When is it?
right? March 21st.
Oh, yeah,
No.
it's like next week, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
It would be,
Washington, DC.
Oh, it's in Washington?
yeah, no.
Are you going?
I'm not going, I already done
Brian volunteered via text to me.
I'm sure he
He said
did.
he would go.
Who? Brian?
Brian.
He's not getting a high-class hotel either.
I think they listed
Yeah,
Thank you.
they have one.
Mr. Chairman, I got two things, when you're
Okay,
ready.
go ahead.
First, I'd like to thank everybody for their cards and well wishes for my family. Difficult times. Just really appreciated. Town's been wonderful. The other thing is, it's got me a little riled up. I'm seeing on the planning board meetings a lot of comments and people coming in making comments on the water department, infrastructure and services to this DMA Holdings, this Chase Ave, this new plant they want to do. I wish people would start learning to know what they're talking about before they open their mouths. Number one, and just a little background with this, and I explained this to the board, so most of you know this already. Well, 2 years ago, I met with one of the individuals who was spearheading this, and he was giving us figures of 150,000 gallons a day, this kind of thing at phase 4 of this operation. As we discussed this, he was told by me that we're working to make supply of water a reality in this town for the first time after all this trouble we've had with the system, and we would be having no problem at that point. However, he was also made aware that the infrastructure in front of that plant on Chase Ave had inferior pipe. We've been there 9 times in the last 6 years for main breaks in front of that plant. And what I do know is that, and I've explained this, I think everybody knows, originally, when that first main was put on Schofield Ave, there was an 8-inch cast iron pipe run from that main into this plant when Ethan Allen was constructed or whatever. It has since been moved to the new main. The pipe was, they piped into the new main. But in order to facilitate Office Hill and some more houses down Chase Ave at a later time, they decided to tee in a 6-inch transite main. Very brittle, giving us lots of trouble. Had to isolate it through Chase Ave's gate box. Downtime can be considerable when doing this. It's difficult in that area. There's a lot of, there's an old gas main and everything else you have to get around. This was told to the individual at DMA Holdings that, you know, this could present an issue with main breaks and whatever. They want to assist us to try to do something about changing it or looping it, changing it to make it better, a way of putting something where we can at least flush it better than we can, since it's a dead-end main, just goes past Office Hill and stops. Causes trouble there with water quality a lot, and we flush it as much as we can, whatever, but the facts are the facts. That's the way it was. So now, as he came to another meeting we had there, looking like nothing was ever said to him about it, and I had one of my representatives from Ramco Construction right next to me, we were talking about it. They were going to investigate and see about what they can come up with. Well, that never happened. 2 years or a year went by, and Nothing was told to us, nothing was said about an official architectural plan or what they're gonna do. They're looking at wells, they're looking at new water types of using other types of water sources, whatever. And now they're looking at 8,000 to 10,000 gallons a day. And that's fine. I got plenty of water for them. They're welcome to it. They're welcome to it as long as they don't change the existing structure of the building to try to loop in any more mains or whatever they have to do over there. They can have everything they want for what the building has right now. But I'm just gonna say that there's a couple ways that you could possibly, or whatever the board wants and whatever they want, do to possibly loop that area in, because they are gonna be changing the routes of their hydrant yard system a bit different than it is now. I guess there's an architectural plan to reroute a new 8-inch or 6-inch, I can't remember, I think it was an 8-inch water main around their building with some segregated hydrants to make it a little more friendly, because some of it goes under the building, and that's not what we want to have either. If that was the case, I would offer to say it would be nice possibly to loop the whole area around, even and rid of that pipe, and reconnect over there, throw a hydrant at the end. At least we have some kind of turnover water, an adequate piping system, and a way to flush the area. I haven't presented that. I am going to be in discussion with the engineer on their plan, because I asked him to call me, because I'm getting tired of all these commentaries that, you know, oh, the water department wants this one, but, you know, the water department is doing the right thing, and it's making sure that if they want to cultivate and they want to be rid of problems there and not have to shut systems down while we repair a 4 or 6 hour main break, that something may have to be done. Otherwise, it is what it is. I can provide them all the water, but something may happen. It's a high pressure area, the stations are right there. Things can happen there, and they have happened there. So I just
Where is the shut off for that area? Is it at
Chase Ave at Schofield.
It's at Schofield?
Yep.
So it shuts, you have to,
Yep.
and if anything happens down that
whole
way,
area shuts down.
that whole area shuts.
Correct.
Okay.
They
All
were
right.
told- Everybody's been told this, the board's just, I think, was aware of it, but I just want to reiterate this because I'm getting tired of hearing it. And, you know, I think people are going to understand things. This infrastructure in the water department 4 years ago would not be able to survive any type of new business in this town with any type of water. We were coming close to being without water. Now we've grown and got a full-fledged treatment center, new wells, new systems online. We're making great progress, way ahead of the group. So, you know, this is just one thing, unfortunately, in that area that was done to that standard.
Was it stated to you that we're trying to hinder?
It was stated that we're trying to baloney some infrastructure, throw some infrastructure onto them. You know,
Trying to get something for nothing.
that's something for nothing or whatever, and people making comments about, well, I knew something about the water, but I'm not quite sure what it was. But you know, if you don't know what it is and what you're talking about, don't get on the speaker and make comments. Just say, ask for information. I'll be glad to come to a meeting and say, hey, this is what it is. This is what was told. This is what was said way back. And obviously, somebody doesn't feel like telling that, yeah, they were notified about it. Okay, and that's fine. I can provide them water, all they want. But there is a issue there with that pipe, and there's still going to be issues coming in the future, because I know they want to change some sprinklers and some sprinkler lines or something like that. So this is what it is, and as long as the board understands where I'm coming from, and whoever watches this understands where I'm coming from, I'm not pulling any punches. This is the way it is. We can't afford ourselves to fix everybody's infrastructure, because it's, but I can give them what it is as long as they stay within the confines.
I can say
Where it
right
is
now that, Mr. Chairman, that whatever they do, if it makes our system worse, if it gives us more breaks or whatever down the line, we shouldn't be giving them water. Bottom line, it's gonna cost us in the end.
So, through you, Mr. Chairman, I think it was before my time on the board, but I do believe that there was a breakdown at that building that pretty much drained the entire system.
Oh, the yard hydrant. The yard hydrant.
That right there indicates that the infrastructure can't handle what they have in that area. And I'm not sure if they're doing processing, but I know we've got some plants that, the process they use in some of that processing, the CBD or whatever they do, it involves butane and propane in high pressure situations. So I don't know if the fire department's been down there, but
They have, and they're waiting on different plans to see about, and I said right off the bat, I will not allow anybody to tie anything more into that 6-inch AC pipe coming
My point
around.
is if you're using butane and propane as a process in processing
Yeah.
plants, that's a high hazard. And if that catches on fire and people die in that fire because our water pipes break while they're trying to fight that fire, they're gonna be looking at us. So-
I distinctively told them the optimum plan would be a 12-inch from Schofield Ave, right around the horn, up Brandon Road, and connect to the 12-inch again in Schofield Ave, and loop that whole area in. That was the best plan to do. It's not doable. There is a side plan, like I just mentioned, that's just to get by, but not as a permanent fix. But right now,
Why
it's
wouldn't it be doable?
Scan.
money-wise.
So, I
So,
also believe we went to a planning board meeting and requested funding for our engineers to review everything and determine if the infrastructure is capable of handling it and what would need to be upgraded.
Yeah, they did,
Well, that's supposed to be part of every,
they did a flow test
Site
on
plan.
basis of not changing anything out, keeping it the way the system is now.
Right, but that wasn't the intent. We wanted the engineers to review the
was supposed to
infrastructure
be
that's
site plan
there.
review on all that stuff.
Can it handle
You know,
what's going on?
we didn't have any information, anything changed, what they were doing in there, what they kept changing everything. Now we're going to this, now we're doing that, we had no formal set of, this is it, guys, this is what we have. Then the fire department, we all can look at it and say, okay, we better check this out and see what's going. But everything's been stalemated, now all of a sudden, it's, well, we're gonna just do with
It's
this.
not even a matter of us looking at it, fire department, we specifically requested the town's water engineers to be able to look at the infrastructure and determine what would need to be done to make that a reliable and adequate source to fight fires and provide the water.
Yeah. Hence, they'd want to, like I said, hence now the well, they want to try to put in that. But like I said, that's, you're gonna have to have pre-frost filtration through that anyway, even if that does go through, that's in my zone too, right there. You know, I mean, it's drawing off the same aquifers that I'm
Also
drawing.
in our aquifer protection.
Yeah.
Act, so.
Mr. Chairman, we had that meeting here 2 years ago with their engineer. The topic was brought up. You know what happened. The minute it was brought up, we went into a negative meeting for the rest of the evening, and the gentleman virtually picked up and left. They know it. You've been warned, you know?
That's all I'm saying,
So
I'm
we've been
warning
warned.
them
Jim,
now.
what do you
We
look
want to
at?
work together, but you've been warned. You're talking a multi-million dollar facility and, you know.
So I did ask the planner, because he said that, I asked him if the plans are still gonna be reviewed because it's through the planning board.
Right, right.
And he said when they pulled the greenhouse project off the table, they decided to use town water for the project. Since they were not proposing a new well next to the town, there was no need for the water impact analysis. And then I asked him,
Who said there was no need?
the town planner.
That's still,
That's-
that's inaccurate.
Thank you. And so I just, I asked, and he said that there would not be,
What is town, sorry,
no, that's okay.
what does the town plan have to do with town water?
So, but that's, I'm just telling you, I did send that because Brian asked, I had gotten an email and Brian said, aren't they supposed to go for a review? So I sent an email, that's what was sent back to me.
I also believe in one of those responses, there was something about they wanted to discuss a tip with the water department.
Or so, there was something,
So-
yeah,
Which doesn't even apply because we're not a taxing body, so a tip agreement would have to go through the town because the town is the one that pays the taxes to, not the water supervisor.
Yeah, I mean,
So
the
they
only
can
thing
feel
we
free
could
to
do
go
is
enter into a tip.
abate water bills, and we don't abate,
No.
we've turned down countless people.
not for profit, not for a not-profit business.
We've
You're gonna
turned
pay a
down
bill.
countless, we've turned down countless,
Individuals.
ratepayers,
Consumers.
single-family homes that have had basically a toilet overflow.
I'm just saying that we wouldn't be in the practice of entering into.
And I've been
But they can,
hit there.
like I said, if it makes sense for the town to enter into a tip agreement with them, have at it, go have that conversation with the town. Maybe the town is gonna generate enough taxes through the additional revenue they'll get from that building, based on whatever their profits are or whatever,
Yeah.
so. If they generate enough tax revenue based on the upgrades and it makes sense to do a tip, then have at it, and I guess that's that with the town. But that's not something that we would
Okay.
get to.
But there's still the impact of, the impact of that change of use of that facility on the infrastructure in that area still needs to be looked at by our engineers.
Yep.
And that goes through the planning board.
That goes through the planning board, that's
So
right.
would you like me
But
to-
our
We still
engineers,
want
Send
the
that to
engineers
them?
to evaluate their plan, their water usage, and the infrastructure
Yep.
that supplies to the building and the fire. Whether they come up with it, it has to go back up Brandon Road or whatever, I mean, that's what we're paying them for, is to determine where the weak point is in providing them adequate and reliable.
And an updated plan too, because that's been one of the
Yeah,
biggest
I don't-
problems, keep
Right.
shifting
I
plans.
don't
here.
remember anybody saying anything about looping all the way from down and around and all the way back up Brandon Road to
No, we didn't
Schofield
say that.
Ave.
I'm just saying, that's what George just mentioned, I'm just saying.
That was mentioned in that, in one of those emails.
That was explained as the best
A logical
scenario.
solution,
Logical, smartest way to go, but not,
That's
smartest
not,
way.
not the inexpensive way, but.
no, that's, yeah, that would be the absolute, that would be the gold standard, but.
but let's be clear, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
let's be clear, if that's what the engineers come back and say
Right.
is best for our system,
Well, it's not a matter of being best for our system, it's us being able to say, yes, we can provide adequate and reliable fire protection and domestic water. I mean, we can't just go say, hey, yeah, we've got a 2-inch line going in there, you know, and just because you put a 12-inch riser inside your building, you're saying you got a 12-inch supply for fire protection. It's not adequate.
No.
We need it determined that if, what we can
Right.
provide. And if you're saying you've had 6 breaks or 9 breaks, whatever it was,
You're going from it being a furniture factory to being.
yeah, it all depends on the
and-
hazard class.
And hazmats, if they are using butane and propane in their process, then,
And I don't want to be a Worcester cold storage story where, you know, half our firefighters die in a building because they had no water to fight the fire.
And that will happen in that area with that
Okay.
main there.
all right, so
I can
this,
guarantee it.
this
I've been
actually
in
is
there,
under
that
the,
building would go up like a.
this whole conversation is under the public board comments.
And that's okay.
That is okay,
Yep.
okay. It's not on the agenda,
Right, but it came in today,
okay,
so it can go under that.
all right. Okay, I suppose that should probably become
I will have it,
get some information for April,
yep.
for the April meeting.
I will be talking to their engineer.
Okay.
She'll be
Yeah,
on it,
just-
so I can
just-
explain everything to him, he can explain to me what they're looking at, because even the fire department talking with them, they have no clue yet.
There
What
just
it's
have to
about.
be, I mean, we need to see stamped prints, stamped plans,
Finalized.
that this is what we're doing. And then we need to be able to be sure that our infrastructure will provide that on a continuous and reliable basis. Okay,
One other thing on that subject, Mr. Chairman, I know a sewer trunk line goes right through the front of their property. And I believe that's probably at like 3/4 capacity, 24/7, because it takes that whole lower end. Do we have to look into that trunk line? Can it handle the capacity?
I don't know yet what amount of affluent they're gonna be dishing out from there. I hear stories, and nothing but stories, so I don't know.
Because I remember I worked on that trunk line years ago,
You know,
when it was ETIL, and it was like, wow, it's like an 18-inch transite. And to look into that, and it was like a river.
Steady flow.
that's what, coming down out
Coming
of
down through-
Jericho?
Yeah, coming out of Jericho, coming along the river bed.
Yeah.
Before it ties into the one.
And it
coming
goes
down.
across their property?
Yeah, it goes right through the front of their property. There are manholes in their front yard.
I don't know, that last time they came to our meeting, the flow numbers for water usage were huge,
Yes.
like 200,000-300,000 gallons a day.
150,000 was what he gave me as a phase 4.
That wasn't what we had on those plans, because when they
Yeah.
had the different phases, I saw numbers on
Yeah.
them.
And that's been toned, everything's been toned down. The market,
Right.
the market's changed, so,
And now that Rhode Island and Connecticut, I think, are getting to the market, that's probably gonna change that
yeah,
whole structure too, but, that's not my concern.
right.
Just-
So, anyways, okay.
Mr. Chairman, Jan, are they, planning board aware of our concerns?
They will, and I'm gonna follow back up with an email.
Nothing's gonna get okayed until,
We've told them before that we want
no, I meant.
plan review.
I told the builder,
No, the planning.
The
Oh, the
Planning.
planning board, it goes
Okay.
through the planning board.
okay.
Because, what was the project that came up on?
It's up by the courthouse there. Well, there was this one. that
It was this
came up.
one.
Oh,
This is why we went to the meeting, but
Yes.
the other project that was identified as one of the reasons for it was.
Was, yeah, the one up, yeah, Lions Road. It needs to be part of the plan review. Okay,
I don't know if anyone need to make any, if there's any determination on it, if they want to send Brian or whoever that,
I was gonna go back to that, yeah.
say we just, because if it's in next week or whatever,
It's March 21st to 23rd, and,
that's next week.
yep,
I just know it said on the thing, you
there was still,
know, deadline, you
Yep.
can still get in, but like I
Well,
said,
how
it's
do you-
just, it'll give you someone in the department a bigger view of what you need to consider.
How long is it? 21st?
One day.
yeah, 21st to the 23rd.
3 days.
Oh,
Well, I don't think you can see the whole thing. I think it's only about-
Yeah, I didn't look further, but, yeah, if you wanted to send, you wanted to send him and he wanted to go, you'd need permission from the board and George.
How much is it?
It's like $1,000 for the conference.
But then we put in
then that's
mustard.
travel,
Right.
travel,
Travel.
and somebody's thing.
Let's see.
And can we spare him?
Difficult right now, I'm shorthanded right now, but, I mean,
Okay. Well, that's
can
the
make
answer.
something work, I guess, if it had to, but.
It's just through, like I said, I saw it today and it's one of those ones that people need to see. Just to understand that you can't do like we've done in the past and just kick the can down the road.
Yeah, you know,
Sooner or later it catches up.
I've learned the lessons of a previous person.
You have, but you still need to look at it as a holistic picture and how many miles of water main do you have?
I know the vulnerable
You get-
areas that we're trying to address, and I know where we have to go. It's just a matter of getting to the, we're so much into stuff right now, but as soon as we get this all done and moving forward with the rest of what I feel we need to do until somebody else takes over.
35 miles of pipe.
Yeah.
That's $70 million worth of upgrades. So you need to just start planning that. You know, the average life of even your best ductile iron pipe is 70, 80 years. So, what'd you say, it's just 100 years old?
You know, like I said,
Parts of it.
we've got the First Ave project coming up now. That's gonna be going to fruition this summer, so I got that grant for that. And the main project coming up this summer too, for that.
They're
so-
still looking at Jericho. That Jericho project is still floating out there.
I'm trying to get a main out on Oxford Ave, all the way out to Sunnyside with a potential for industrial park down the line. So, there's a number of
For the
things.
grant?
Trying for that and for help with, from the entity out there who wants to do that project. But at least start it off to get it out there, you know?
But if that's for like an industrial park, development, jobs,
Yep.
EDA's got a ton of money right now.
Yep.
It's a pain in the ass for their grant program, but it's well worth it if you can get $3 or $4 million to do upgrades. Mass Works, same thing. You can show job creation, private investment, whatever. There's tons of money in grants out there.
Okay. All right, motion?
Can I just,
Oh,
under
Jen?
board comments, I just have a question. So we have that 4% infrastructure upgrade fee on the water side. So now, what if we have someone who came in for a permit last year, didn't pay their $350 during the permit time?
I believe our policy says that
They now have to come back.
Yep.
Will they be responsible for the 4% infrastructure fee? Okay. That was a question that has come up, and we did not know.
Because everything was void after they didn't pay the fee within the.
That's what but I didn't just wanted to be sure that thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, it'd be like coming to the board and getting approval to tie in and then waiting 30 years and saying, oh, well, you gave me approval, now I want
Right.
to pay the the 30-year ago rates.
Right. No, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't do anything.
It lapsed, and now they have to start again?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been 1 year on all those approvals.
It
Oh,
lapsed,
yeah.
it lapsed by a lot, or?
It lapsed by 20 days, they called, 20 days when they called me.
Okay.
Or
But they didn't pay the fee, and I believe it says that they have to pay the fee.
they paid the
within 5 days.
they paid the $350 that holds it for a year. They didn't pay anything additional, which they need to do to complete everything. All the $350, it doesn't assure the permit, it just means you can file for the permits. They didn't file for the permits within the year.
Okay.
It was almost 20, 25 days after their expiration that they called the office.
And if they didn't call and do the request before the end of it,
Right,
then it's no longer a valid permit, and you can't get an extension.
exactly.
So
That-
it's
So
a- it's a
they're
whole-
coming, they're gonna be coming back in front of you.
Okay.
Thank you. That was my
Okay.
There's a reason why we have that 1 year deadline.
Yeah, and that's what, I just wanted to be sure that I wasn't gonna
Okay.
be,
Yeah.
Okay. We have a motion.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're out of here before 8 o'clock. Go figure.